Next morning, we got up early and went to the Inari Shrine. This is the largest collection of torii gates probably anywhere in the world. The Inari Shrine is a wonderful Shinto experience. You walk through all of these different gateways along a path that winds through the forest. You could spend 1 or 2 hours walking this pathway that extends for almost 3 miles altogether, but in our case, 15-20 minutes was sufficient to have a good look at it. The full name of the shrine is the Fushimi Inari Taisha, and this is the main shrine of this particular Shinto sect that's dedicated to the gods of rice and sake. Throughout Japan, there are 40,000 other Inari shrines, but this is the principal one. There are approximately 1,000 of these large torii that extend on this winding path up and down through the hillside. And the colors are really, really dazzling. All the orange of the torii really, really are stimulating and appealing and contrast delightfully with the green of the garden setting. In this case, the garden is really more of a natural forest. There's some cultivation, of course, and it's pruned and it's tended very carefully, but it's more, the focus here is on the torii gates. And we saw some cats. Notice the steam coming out of their breath. It was a little nippy. We are traveling in the first week of December, and temperatures in the morning like this were in the 30s. This shrine is a good one to visit early in the day because it opens right at sunrise. Many of the temples don't open till 9:30 or even 10 o'clock. So if you want to get an early start on the day, head over to the Fushimi Inari Shrine. Along with the cats, there's the fox. At least there's the carvings of foxes here and there. This was one of the gods who protected this particular shrine, this kind of Shinto religious shrine. Whenever you see the torii gate, you know that this is not a Buddhist temple, but instead it's a Shinto shrine. By comparison, now we're taking you to a Buddhist temple grounds. This is Tofuku-Ji, and it's located just about a 20 or a 30-minute walk from the Inari Shrine, so it's very easy to get here. Tofuku-Ji has a variety of sub-temples, including several of the pebble gardens. And notice the large wooden building. This is a symbolic gateway onto the temple grounds. Originally dates back to the 1300s, and it was rebuilt in the 1400s, and it's been maintained and protected over these many, many centuries. Here too we have a small Shinto shrine area with another torii tunnel leading up to a staircase that brings you up a hill. At this temple complex of Tofukuji, there are about a dozen sub-temples. One of the things it's most noted for is the fall colors. We arrived in early December, but still there was the lingering color of the maple leaves, which were really bright and spectacular. Another week or two, they'll all be blown down. By mid-December, late December, the colors will be largely gone. Of course, the peak of colors would happen in the month of November, and it would be especially beautiful here at Tofukuji. They have this small gully, which is the most famous area for the viewing of the fall colors. And you pay an admission to go into each of the separate sections of the temple, and it's well worth it. It's a little confusing because usually the guides at the gateways who sell you the tickets don't speak any English, and they'll give you a little pamphlet that'll have a map, and that will help guide you around through the grounds. And we were looking in particular for the Abbot's Hall, because at the Abbot's Hall there is a very classical pebble garden that we wanted to see. And finally we got there. Took some doing, there was no sign out front, but here it is, a beautiful pebble garden, often called a Zen meditation garden. And Tofukuji is a Zen Buddhist temple. And these are aids to meditation. You sit and quiet your mind. And this kind of pebble garden is designed to be looked at rather than walked through. So there's a veranda, and over on the side we have moss-covered hills that symbolize mountains. The rocks symbolize islands, it's said, and the pebbles symbolize the sea. But at the same time, ascribing all of these meanings to such a garden is somewhat limiting, because in Zen itself, the process is emptying your mind and just gazing out upon this beautiful, calm, and relaxing vista. And always the colors around us here at this temple garden were really, really enhancing our total experience. And then we ran into a very friendly local fellow who knows a lot about the temple complex. He pointed out the grave of the son of J.P. Morgan and told us about Tofuku-Ji. 1923?
Almost 30 temples get together to make the Tofuku-Ji. Tofuku-Ji have so many, what you may call this branch.
Right.
Yep.
And this is typical of one of the many sub-temples that go with the main temple area here at Tofukuji. Well, we decided to head on north about a mile, and we could have walked it, but instead we thought, okay, let's go to the station area and we'll take the subway, and that'll save us a little bit of walking. We've got to save our energy for strolling in the temple areas and the shopping areas, so we hop on the train. And we're just going 2 stops heading in the direction of the temple of Kiyomizu-Dera. But before we get to the temple, we walk along this very busy shopping street. It's real popular with the locals. Here's some young high school guys in their typical uniforms. And we join the crowd. We're walking along and doing some actual shopping here, actual purchases being made. You can pick from variety of Japan-made goods. There's fans and bags and wallets, ceramics, lacquer dishes. There's little restaurants along the way here and some side staircases. There's a residential neighborhood right behind these shop fronts. So we took our time passing a whole number of ceramic shops. That's a very popular item here. Looking up towards the temple, which is up on the hillside, Kiyomizu-Dera is the most popular temple in all of Kyoto, and it's usually crowded, lots of tour groups there. So, well, we haven't gotten there first thing in the morning, so we're not in any great hurry to get there now. We can take our time, poke along, do some more browsing, some shopping. There's some real friendly food shops here. Different foods, tea and candy.
I went to Hawaii.
You went to Hawaii. Oh. Did you
10
like?
years ago.
You had a good time?
Good time.
That's
Good
good.
time.
It's nice. Well, it's refreshing to actually speak to one of the locals that way, because most of the Japanese don't speak English. They've studied it in school. The younger ones especially have studied English in school for maybe 8 years on the average, but it's mostly to learn how to read the printed language and perhaps do a little bit of English writing. They're not real big on conversational skills, just as most Americans who visit Japan don't speak any Japanese. So there's always a little bit of a linguistic barrier, but you get around that with sign language and with friendly communications. The Japanese people are certainly super friendly to the visitors, and many of them understand enough English so you can get by, no problem. We arrive at the temple gate. This temple is really, really spectacular. Kiyomizu, there's a reason why it's the most popular temple in all of Kyoto. And you see here why. There's stunning surroundings. It's on the hillside. We still have the lingering fall colors. And there's a variety of structures here at the temple. These typical incense burners offer a smoke that's designed to chase away the evil spirits. The temple is actually so old that it predates Kyoto itself. It dates back to the 700s, before Kyoto was founded as a city. Of course, the structures have been rebuilt numerous times since then, but it really has an ancient history. The main hall is the most spectacular single item here, and there's also a special purified water that's available. If you walk down the hill, you can drink some of that using those cups. And those sacred waters are thought to have healing properties. There's a Shinto shrine just as part of the temple complex, as you often find here, the Buddhist and the Shinto blended together, the two religions harmoniously coexisting in Japan. And then we have the views looking out across from the main hall into downtown Tokyo. A borrowed view, it's called, in one of the temple gardens is this. The main hall is up on large wooden stilts. Images of the Buddha here and there, and the different altars and shrines within the temple grounds. Some really spectacular, vibrant colors here, just little pockets of maple leaves, the special Japan and Kyoto maple leaf with the smaller leaf. Surrounded by shrines, and you can also purchase some good luck amulets at the Shinto shrines for health and happiness and longevity. During the busy seasons, this temple gets extremely crowded with the tour groups. They come by the busloads, but we're here at a time when there's a few groups. There's a student group, high school girls coming through. But generally, early December is a wonderful time to be touring the temples of Kyoto. It's just not very crowded.